Look at the camera. Hold it steady. All right, go. Life lessons from someone who has lived more than a century. Hair and makeup, someone jokes off screen. You look wonderful, Mom. How many times have you interviewed a lady who's almost 101? She smiles. Almost. We just discovered I'm 102. We were all surprised. How does it feel to be 102? I feel like $1 million, she says without hesitation. I don't feel 102. I don't even feel 100. Some days I feel like I'm in my 80s or 90s. She pauses and shrugs gently. I'm not exactly sure what kept me going this long. Maybe something corny like positive thinking. I never gave up. If I wanted something, I kept after it. Then she laughs softly. People always ask me what my secret is, like it's some magical formula. I don't have one. I've just lived, and I've never drunk coffee. These are voices of men and women who have crossed the century mark. They've seen wars, depressions, revolutions, the rise of the internet, and the transformation of family life. They've buried spouses, outlived friends, watched children grow old, and they still have something to say. One woman remembers growing up during the Great Depression. Nothing came easily, she says. If you wanted something, you worked for it. You didn't expect it to fall in your lap. She had once dreamed of being an English teacher. Instead, she became a dancer, employed by the United States government to perform for soldiers. It was a big deal, she says. We were there to lift spirits. Another woman recalls her teenage years teaching vacation Bible school in her church. In those days, women stayed home. You raised your children. You stood by your husband. That was life. Then the world shifted. World War II erupted, and everything changed. Women stepped into roles that had previously been denied to them. Factories, offices, military service. One man remembers enlisting in the Navy on the day Pearl Harbor was attacked. When we heard the news, he says, we knew this wasn't something we could sit out. Being Jewish, he understood what was happening in Europe. We knew what Hitler was doing. We were afraid it could spread here. We couldn't ignore it. Another recalls the radio announcements of D-Day, the tension in the air, the uncertainty of the future. You could feel history unfolding, she says, and you could feel the loss. I lost relatives. It was terrible. For some, military service became a calling. For others, it was a chapter. One man says, if it had been up to me, I would have stayed in the Navy. But my wife wanted a more settled life, and I respected that. So he began a career as a dentist. I truly loved what I did, he says. I woke up every day knowing I was helping people. Another woman became a certified director of patient accounts at a major hospital. Another worked in real estate loans and insurance. Did you enjoy your job? The interviewer asks. She smiles. Yes, that's where I met my husband. He had walked into her office one day and asked if she'd like to play miniature golf. And what did you say? I said yes, she laughs. That simple yes became decades of shared life. When asked about marriage advice, the centenarians grow reflective. It's important, one woman says. It's important to feel love. Love is powerful. It doesn't just mean romance. It's deeper than that. Another adds, a solid marriage is about like-mindedness. You're on the same page. You want to build a life together. That's the foundation. One woman remembers meeting her husband and immediately knowing. He was verbal, I was verbal. We understood each other. That was it. Their marriages lasted 60, 70, even 85 years. I was married 85 wonderful years, one woman corrects herself gently. I still miss him every day. Another says, we were married 67 years. He was remarkable, sensitive. I miss him daily. A man in his hundreds says quietly, my wife passed away 20 years ago. Too early. She should be here sitting beside me. He pauses. At this age, I am the last man standing. Living past 100 brings triumph and sorrow in equal measure. I've lost 2 sons, one woman says. I just lost my oldest a few weeks ago. He was 82. I'm shocked I'm still here. At 100, you've outlived most of your friends. You've attended more funerals than birthdays. The hardest thing about being this age, a man admits, is that time can hang heavy. My friends are gone. The house is quiet. But sitting in grief all day is not an option. If I just sat around mourning, he says, that would be unbearable. Life goes on. That's the only answer. Life goes on. So you get up, you do what you love. They have witnessed enormous change. What's changed most in 100 years, someone asks. The internet, comes one answer immediately. Some of them laugh about it. Our generation doesn't always know how to handle it. I see young people walking down the street staring at their phones. It scares me. One woman refuses to use a smartphone. It feels like walking into a dark room and trying to find something, she says. Another shakes her head. amazing how much garbage shows up on a computer. Yet others see the benefits. Years ago, if you wanted an answer, you went to the library. You searched. It took effort. Today, you snap your fingers, and there it is. One woman says she spends hours at the computer emailing family and friends. Technology, used properly, has changed everything. It connects us, but you must use it carefully. That word, carefully, comes up again and again. Use technology carefully. Use your health carefully. Use your time carefully. When asked about longevity, the answers are surprisingly simple. I've never smoked, one says. I've never drunk to excess. I love the outdoors. Another recommends an hour a day of real exercise. Guard your health. It's a gift. They demonstrate stretching, kicking, walking. Walk, 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 one insists. That will keep you alive. One man pedals a stationary bike for 15 to 20 minutes each day. I can feel the difference, he says. The muscles aren't what they used to be, but you have to keep moving. Diet matters too. Start young, one woman advises. Eat properly. Watch your weight. Don't overindulge. She regrets a period when she gained weight. I wish I'd been more disciplined. Others recommend protein, moderation, staying away from excess bacon and processed foods. The theme is balance. And mindset. I refuse to think old, one man declares. If you think young, you act young. He says he always keeps something on his plate, something to look forward to. That's important, he explains. You wake up and there's something waiting for you. Another woman plays games to keep her mind sharp. It keeps me active. One credits friendships across generations. I have friends in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. That keeps life interesting. You see how different generations think. Financial advice also emerges. Buy land, one says immediately. Did you do that? No, she laughs. I was terrible with money. Others offer more structured advice. Invest, even small amounts. Have patience. The stock market goes up and down, but long term it rises. Watch the pennies. Then when you need dollars for a down payment, you'll have them. Don't let your money sit earning 2% forever. Put it somewhere solid, a good stock, a mutual fund. They speak from decades of observing cycles, booms and busts. They've seen prosperity and collapse, and still they believe in steady, patient growth. When asked the secret to a long, happy life, the answers converge. Love of life, one says simply. Devotion to family, says another. That's what matters most to me now. How are they doing? Are they okay? Don't complain, advises a third. It makes life hard for everyone around you. You must focus on what's positive, someone adds. Ignore the negative. Another says she learned not to be so self-centered. You can't get anywhere until you start doing things for others. Giving brings joy. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you're kind, it comes back to you. Prayer for some is central. I pray and I get answers, one woman says. That's why I have longevity. They urge younger generations not to forget older people. Call them, visit them. It means so much. One woman finally wrote her memoir after her children urged her to. That way, the lessons are preserved. As she sits there at 102, she says, I don't feel like my days are numbered. I feel like I have good years ahead. She scratches her nose mid-interview and laughs when she wonders if she's still on camera. I can barely hear you, another says. Stand over there. Even at 100 plus, they are still themselves, humorous, candid, unfiltered. What ties all these stories together is not perfection. They endured war, loss, economic hardship, social upheaval. They buried spouses after decades of shared life. They buried children. They adapted to technology they never imagined. They saw roles shift, rights expand, cultures transform. And yet their advice remains grounded in fundamentals. Move your body, guard your health, invest wisely, love deeply, be kind, have purpose, stay curious, look forward to something each day. They don't romanticize age. It's not easy, one says. At this stage, you're vulnerable. But they also don't surrender to despair. Life goes on. And perhaps that is the most important lesson from those who have seen more years than most of us can imagine. Life goes on. So get up, ride the bike, send the email, walk outside, call someone you love, play miniature golf, invest in your future, write your memoir, pray, laugh, stretch, and when someone asks how it feels to be 102, smile and say, I feel like $1 million.